Well, hi everybody. It's Thursday night, and it is one of my favorite nights. It's true crime night, and we're gonna go over a few things. Give y'all a few minutes to get in, cause I know for some reason there's a lag, and I start talking before the countdown, and then I look over, and when I end the stream, I'm still talking. It's kind of weird, but it's all right. So tonight we're going to go over a few different things. There's a lot of things here that we need to go over. And I want everybody to have enough time. So want everybody to have enough time to get their popcorn and get themselves something to drink, because we're going to talk. This world's nuts. This is one crazy world. So, where shall we begin? Shall we begin with P. Diddy? There's a good start, ain't it? You know, that P. Diddy thing is just out of control. That man is crazy. He's absolutely, totally gone fishing, and he doesn't even carry a sack. It's nuts, y'all. And he's, you know what scares me the most is you think that this man could get away with some of the things that he's done. It could happen, you know. It could happen. And he's crazy. There was a video that was released, and I thought, you know what? Do I want to make my viewers sick? And then I thought, well, I think my viewers are pretty strong people. I think they would understand what's getting ready to happen. And, you know, I think I could show this stuff to you. And I think maybe you guys might get the idea, like I do, how sick this man is. So, let me do something real quick here, and let me show you something. Let me get in here, and let me share this with you. All right, I'm gonna share this with you. Oh, y'all look at this.
Gorgeous. Well, let me introduce you to my mom. Call Mom Dukes.
Hi.
She's getting a drip with me. She's hydrating. What's up, Mom?
Everything's good, baby. I'm here with you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
All right. So, y'all saw that, right? There's a lot of crazy stuff when you start diving into P. Diddy. His mama did crazy things for money too. All right. So kind of think, well, you know, is it really his fault? Did his mama teach him to be this crazy person that he is? Or did his mama plant the seed to him being this crazy person? I don't know. I think about it from time to time, and I was thinking about it today, and I thought, well, our mama and our daddy are our foundation, right? They kind of they're our foundation, and they teach us to be basically what we are. And they show us our foundation and teach us to be morals that we have, and our gives our morals, and they give us our basically the conscience that we have, the Lord gives us, right? Well, I don't think P. Diddy had a conscience or has one right now. And I don't think his mama has one either. I mean, I don't know. What do y'all think? Kind of a scary thought, ain't it? Kind of a scary thought that it's okay that he can kiss on his mama. And in this same video that I showed you earlier, right after he gets done kissing his mama, he starts talking about how she's single, she don't have a boyfriend. And it's like he's promoting his mama to have a boyfriend or find her a date, or I don't know. It's pretty alarming. All right. Because I just don't think that you should promote that kind of stuff. That's my own personal opinion. I don't know how y'all weigh in on that, but I just don't think that I don't think it's right. But again, is it his fault? If you tell a kid it's okay to steal and he steals, is it the kid's fault? I think the seed was there for him. And then I think what happened to P. Diddy is he got too big for his britches. Don't you think so? I think he got way too big for his britches. And I think he thought that he was above the law and he could do whatever he wanted to do, and everything was okay, and he could do whatever it was that he felt like doing. And we all know you can't do that. You know the difference. Everybody knows what the difference between right and wrong is. I don't think this man knows the difference between right and wrong. I think he just had so much money that he just thought he could do whatever he wanted to, and he still does. That attitude ain't changed. He still feels like he can do whatever he wants to. He was willing to pay. Now, do you know, I was looking up today, just so y'all know, I was looking up today that he offered the biggest bail bond ever that's ever been, ever. Some have had bail bonds of 2 or 3 million. And those are big cases. He offered 50 million. And then he went to 75 million, thinking that was going to help him out. And guess what, guys? He's still sitting in there. As far as I know, I heard maybe that they were thinking about doing something to him, but it was late breaking news, and it was more important for me to get on here and talk to y'all, so I'll probably know more about it on Monday. But come on. I can't wrap my head around it. I cannot wrap my head around where this man is at. It ain't right. It just ain't right. If his mama says it's okay for him to be the way he is, and he thinks it's all right for him to be the way he is. You know, we have laws for a reason. We have laws for a reason. And the law states that you can't kill. And you know, I was also thinking, let's talk about this for a second. When does it constitute premeditated? All right. So the definition of premeditated murder is that you planned it out, right? It also constitutes that if you say anytime, I'm going to kill you in a fit of rage, and you go, you know what, you make me so mad I could just kill you. Do you know that's considered premeditated? So I'm going to throw one out at you. So let's talk about Sarah Boone for just a second. You know, we can go back to Diddy whenever you want to, but let's talk about Sarah Boone. So Sarah Boone and her boyfriend, or whatever he was, her significant other, had a toxic relationship, right? She was in jail and he was in jail, and they switched places all the time, and either she'd beat him up and go to jail or he'd beat her up and go to jail. It was toxic. And you know, in a fit of rage, during some of these beatings and these fights and everything, you know that she probably looked over and said, you know what, I could just kill you. Do you know that's considered premeditated? Now, hello, Linda. It's good to see you. Hope you're having a good time. I bet our audience misses you terrible. So let's say in a fit of rage, you get so mad and your partner and you're fighting, and you say, you know what, if you don't get out of my face, I'm just going to kill you. And it's over. Fight's over. Then you get drunk and you play hide and seek, and he hides in a suitcase, and you pass out, and you wake up the next day going, oh my God, he's still in the suitcase. And he's dead. Does that constitute premeditated murder? I was talking to a friend of mine about this today, and I said, you know, let me ask you a question. There are more toxic relationships in our country than we can shake a stick at. There are people that are supposed to be. There are people out there that should not be together. They just shouldn't be. They beat each other up. They go to prison. They go to jail. They go get out of jail. They go to jail. They go out of jail. Don't you think if there was a law that if you went to jail so many times from domestic violence that you should be ordered not to be with that other person? Wouldn't that keep a lot of people alive? You know, when do we as people say, you know what? We know what path you're going down. We know that if something isn't done here before too long, somebody's going to die. Whether it be you or him, somebody's going to die here. So we're going to order you right now to not see each other. And if you go and you see and you get back together, then and something happens, there's going to be heavy consequences to pay. Whether they die or you just go back to jail for domestic violence, if you're ever picked up again for it, you're going to pay some heavy consequences. Don't you think that would put a stop to some of this stuff? I mean, these guys were 5 years going in and out of jail, fighting with each other. And they interviewed her and they said, you know what? Your record shows you've been in here so many times fighting with him, and he's been here so many times fighting with you. Why are you still with him? Why didn't you just walk away? Now he's dead. Why didn't you just walk away? And she said, because I love him. Now, didn't that put a spin on you loved him to death? Just saying. It's worth thinking about. I don't know. I was looking at him, and then I did my dive into, YouTube has their prison calls where you can listen to all these guys that are in jail and listen to their phone calls back and forth and everything. And I think everybody on here knows exactly what I feel about Wade Wilson. I think that man was just born crazy. And I don't think there's any way you're going to fix him, because I think he's crazy. And I was listening to this phone call. Do you know how many women there are out there? This is what I don't get. Do you know how many women are out there that he's got the Wade Wilson fan club? Are they not thinking for 1 second that it was a woman he killed and it was a woman he ran over? I mean, come on, guys, think. Let's get those wheels grinding here. He's got a whole fan club. He had a GoFundMe page. And on his GoFundMe page, you know how much money he raised on his GoFundMe? $83,000. Wrap your head around that one. $83,000 he raised. I could think of a lot of other things I'd rather spend my money on than help Wade Wilson get out of prison or get off the death penalty, when he proudly said how he ran over that girl and turned her into spaghetti. That's my own personal opinion. There's other things I'd rather do. I'd rather give to an orphanage or give to the pet people or anything than that. So I was listening to his last phone call, and you know what his last idea was? I think we need a merch store. Let's start a merch store, and we could sell t-shirts with my face on it. All right. Well, I want to share something with you here. Okay. Let me share something with you. I want you to see something. Would you like a shirt with this man's face on it? I mean, I don't see that he's that nice looking. He's arrogant. He's got those those eyes that the lights are on but nobody's home look. And he's got those stitches open through his mouth like the Joker from Batman. And do you know what he wants to put on a t-shirt? WWWJD. In other words, what would Wayne Wilson do? WWWD or something like that. What would Wade Wilson do? Well, we know what he would do. He'd strangle you or run over you with his car. I saw over there that it's a horrible, you got a horrible storm going your way. And also I got to tell you that there's 2 storms in the Gulf or 3 in the Gulf, and one of them's going over to Florida. So I'm glad you're getting out of there pretty soon because it's supposed to be a Cat 4. So, think about this. This is what I'd like. I'm going to buy me a shirt that says, what would Wade Wilson, I'm going to make me a shirt. And it's going to say, what would Wade Wilson do? And then I'm going to put underneath it, run over you or strangle you. Leave your money to your children. Don't send it to Wade. I don't know, but I just think that there's crazy people out there that want to give their money away to a person like that. No, I don't think so. I wouldn't give him a nickel out of, you know what? I would give him a dime. I'm sorry. I wouldn't give him any money. Oh, you know what? I probably would make a fortune off of him because the man is crazy. You could take, you know what? We could take and put, Linda, we could take and put the Deadpool costume on the bottom and put his face on the front of it and say, why are you funding this man? Do you realize he ran over a person? Let's turn him to spaghetti. There's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. He's going to open him a merch store. And that's over and above his $83,000 he got for being who he is on a GoFundMe page. And another thing I found out that was kind of interesting is you can only send $100 at a time to put on the kiosk or their canteen or whatever. So at $83,000, he's going to be, you can't send it all because he's getting ready to go on death row. And I don't know if they get a kiosk in death row. So, I mean, it's going to be a long time getting at $100 a pop. Maybe you could share it with Diddy because Diddy needs to be over there on death row too. Although Diddy's going to Riker. The latest news on Diddy is Diddy's going through withdrawals, y'all. Is that surprising? They're going to have to take him to the hospital because he's going through withdrawals. Really? Didn't we all kind of figure that was going to happen? Didn't we kind of figure that he was going to go through withdrawals because he's probably got more drugs going through him than he has water? Yeah. And they said, well, you know what? We got to take him to the hospital because he might die. Oh, doesn't that sound like an Epstein kind of thing? Doesn't that sound like an Epstein thing? Hey, you know what? We're going to put Diddy's going to go to the hospital because he might die because he's going through withdrawals. It wouldn't surprise me. And then he died, because, he messed with only the elite. You had the E word that did the political side, and now we got the D word that did Hollyweird. I still think there's somebody above them. There's somebody bigger above them. So I got to thinking about that. All right, let's dive into that one for a minute. So y'all heard of Pizzagate, right? That's where they were doing the pizzas and all that kind of stuff, where you ordered a pizza and all that kind of stuff. The man finally came out and told who funded his restaurant. Guess who funded the restaurant for Pizzagate? George Soros did. Yep. So follow me here. If you give 10,000 or whatever and say, here's your deposit for your pizza restaurant, and I'm going to tell you what I want you to do with this restaurant. The man starts making a fortune, right? Is Soros making any money? I doubt it. Because he don't want his name hooked on. He only wants his name hooked to, I helped him buy the restaurant. What he did with it was not my concern. So how much would it really cost to have put P. Diddy where he was at? If you think of the big names that he's got involved with him, it didn't cost him a whole lot of money to have his organization the way it was. You got, and this is all speculation. This is my own opinion. You know, it's like opinions are like elbows. Everybody's got two. Well, this is my opinion. And it could be a conspiracy. We can go there if you want to. Oprah has a girls' school. Okay. And she's known for seasoning these girls to be real proper ladies. All right. How much do you think that Oprah would charge Diddy to have some of her girls? Probably not too much, right? Beginning to his investment. I'm just saying, y'all. I think there's a whole lot of everybody pitched in like they were going to, when you go to one of those potluck. I think everybody pitched in, and then I think the thing took off like wildfire, and Diddy thought he was above the law and thought that he made more money than Carter has liver pills, and I think that's what happened. And then Diddy's head got too big for the whole thing, and he thought that, you know what, I can do whatever I want to. I can say whatever I want to. Oh, yeah, Harris is being interviewed by Oprah. Well, you know what? They've already showed Obama was at the parties. I don't know how many times. In fact, Diddy was the one that threw the party when Obama was running for president. He threw an election party. Again, how many people do you think, how many bigwigs do you think were at those parties? How many people do you think are going to go down because of Diddy's parties? And Diddy, another thing I learned is Diddy didn't have one massive party. Diddy had white parties and black parties. Now, a few people probably that were white went to the black parties, like Ashton Kutcher and probably Danny Matheson and a few. But if he couldn't get you to a black party, he had a white party for you. The Clintons were probably at the white party. You could dive into this, and it's going to be massive, y'all. It's going to be massive. The big Jeffrey put it out in everybody's mind as far as politics went, right? Everybody thought about, I wonder if this one was there, or I wonder if that guy was there, or I wonder if that Supreme Judge was there. And then the list came out and everybody saw who was there. And then everybody thought, well, that guy's crazy. And look at who he had there. And he had all these political people, and all of these political people took the dive, right? Wait till Diddy's list comes out. The question is, who in Hollywood was not at a Diddy party. I think that's where you better start. I think we need to pick out the ones that weren't at the Diddy party. And they can go somewhere else. What are these? What did he call it? The Starfish Island or something? I don't know. Everybody had an island. But another thing I found to be extremely interesting, when you talk about true crime. So Diddy was supposed to turn himself in on Tuesday morning. That's what he was doing there. He had flown in and he'd been there a week, and he decided he was going to turn himself in, right? Okay, so he was there a week. And he was going to turn himself in on Tuesday. But then, when you're in trouble for this kind of thing, this wasn't just the CIA watching him. This was the Homeland Security watching him. And if you don't realize that the Homeland Security is international, okay, that's what they do. They do the world thing. They don't do just the country. They do the world thing. And they were watching him. And he had the nerve on Tuesday mid-morning to fill up his plane. Don't you know that they knew? You know what? This man's getting ready to leave. He's talked to enough people. He ain't going to turn himself in on Tuesday. He's going to run. He's going to run. That ain't cool. That ain't cool at all. So that's why he got picked up on Monday. That's why they picked him up and they put him in jail, because he was getting ready to run. And when they picked him up, he had all kinds of narcotics on him. As far as Diddy's intelligence level, he wasn't. He's not very intelligent. 50 Cent and Cat Williams are probably the only two people in Hollywood that hasn't been to his parties. Cat Williams has been to his parties, Linda. He said he'd been there. He said he was offered $50 million just to sleep with Diddy, and he told him no. I'm sure it only took one time, and then he never went back, but he'd been to one. 50 Cent? I don't know, but you can bet that Jay-Z was at all of them. And Beyonce, Oprah, Michelle Obama, Barack Obama. Oh, the Clintons were there. They wouldn't miss a party like that. There were some big names at all these parties. And the funny thing is that these parties had been going for years and years. And everybody knew to leave before 9 o'clock. Nobody would say anything, but they knew to leave before 9 o'clock. Denzel Washington was known for leaving early and with a very angry look on his face because he was disgusted. Of course, this is how smart Diddy is. I don't know if y'all know, but Diddy doesn't own anything, y'all. Everything Diddy owns, all of his houses and his cars and his... Oh, and by the way, that jet plane that he has? I don't know if you guys realize it, but that jet plane had a name prior to what it has now. They just scrubbed it off the side. It was called the Lolita Express. That's Diddy's plane. Boy, doesn't that knock on the door of home. So, whose plane is it really? But anyway, so Diddy's homes and his plane and his cars and his bank account and all this stuff is in his mama's name. He's given all of his stuff to his mama. Can you take it from him if it's in his mama's name? I don't know. Can they prove that the mama was involved? I'm sure she knew something. This is going to be a long hearing, y'all. This is going to be a long, drug out, forever trial. You think that OJ's trial was long? This was going to go on forever. And every time you turn around, it's going to be more stuff coming out. It is going to be crazy. And a lot of big names are going to go down. If I were Oprah, I'd be a little worried. Well, now she'll have nothing. She didn't have anything before because he would never give her anything. He was known for yelling at her and slapping her around. This was his mama. So if he'll slap his mama around, he'll slap anybody around. She was a hooker before. So his mama was a hooker. So Diddy, Diddy probably watched all that and it was all normal to him. He probably had a sick mind. I don't know. I mean, you think about all that and you think, I don't know. What are your guys' opinion on it? How many people do you think he's going to take down with him? And I can guarantee you he is singing like a canary right now. Because I don't think that he's a real tough guy. I was seeing a video where during these parties and stuff where he would take you on his yacht and you'd go off somewhere or whatever. He took everybody's cell phone away from them. Throw your cell phone in the bag because you're not allowed to have your cell phone. Why? Because you might record something. It's not supposed to be recorded. Although the funny thing is, Diddy was recording everything. Do you know that Cassie got the snot knocked out of her one time because she wouldn't do that strap-on thing and use it on him? I mean, the man was sick. He was sick. They confiscated two ARs, two AR-15s, or whatever, and serial numbers were off of them. They were all sanded off. That tells you right there that they were in the crime and don't want anyone to know about it. It's admitting guilt by taking the serial numbers off of them. You might as well, you know what? I was giggling. I was watching this video and someone said, if you want to be an actress, right now's the time. Give it just a few months because they're not going to have any in Hollywood. J-Lo, I bet she's sweating nails. J-Lo was the one that was carrying the gun for him. There's a lot of crazy stuff that's hooked up to this Diddy thing. And why is it that guys like that, none of them are nice looking? None of them. Or at least I don't think so. I just don't get it. That Cuba, what is his name? Cuba Gooding Jr. Yeah, he's going to be going down. He's involved thick. And Tyler Perry. It's people that all of us really like. And we never thought for one second that they would be involved in something so horrific. I remember at the end of last year, the middle of last year maybe, They said, 2024 is going to bring out some things, and the people you think are good are not going to be good, and the people you think are bad are not going to be bad. And I thought, well, I have a pretty good judge character. Do I? T.D. Jakes is all over it too. He's supposed to be a man of God. Does that mean that Joel Osteen is in there too? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Some of the names I've heard, I wouldn't be surprised. It gets to the point that you don't know who to trust and who not to trust. If they're not doing good, you know what? You can't go by how they do and how they treat their community, because Diddy was a real good person, and he used to give to the community all the time. You just don't know who to trust. That's all I gotta say. Unless they are real close to you, because just because they give to the community don't mean they're good people. They may do that just to keep their butt out of hot water, and that's what I'm seeing with Diddy. I think that he lived to cover up forever, and he got away with it. And everybody was all thinking Diddy was good. They're all thinking Jay-Z's good. They're all thinking Beyonce's good. Everybody are good. Oprah's a good person. Ellen DeGeneres is a good person. Tyler Perry's a good person. All these people are great people. And then guess what? We find out, no, they're not. No, they're not. That's why they're in Hollywood, because they act really great. They're great actors and actresses, because none of them are any good. It's actually kind of disappointing. It's kind of broke my heart. When I found out that Mickey Rooney was as bad as he was, I was kind of heartbroken, because I kind of like Mickey Rooney. And I know that when Bill Cosby came out with his deal and they put him in prison, I know it broke a lot of hearts, because everybody thought that Bill Cosby would have never done anything bad. He was such a good person, and you would have never thought that he would have been one of those doing that. So like we've talked about all week, you got to keep your head on a swivel. Look around, see what's going on, because you never know who's your neighbor, and you never know who you're watching on TV, and you don't know what you're listening to, because they're all nuts. They're all crazy. And they're all extremely wealthy off of somebody else. Off the innocence of children. The innocence of children have made some of these people extremely wealthy. Do you know, this was another thing I found out about, because it just jogged my memory. Did anybody hear about P. Diddy's vampire parties? I'm sure you can wrap your head around that and figure out what that was, because that's what they were doing. Exactly what a vampire party would be doing. And whose blood were they using? I'm still wondering where these 388,000 children are, y'all. We can't account for them. And nobody seems to be looking for him. Maybe that's why it was Homeland Security that busted P. Diddy. You think? Because Homeland Security only busts international crime. And these were children that came across the border and were unaccounted for. But by golly, we knew there was 350,000. We knew that. They were counted. That is enough people to fill a football stadium. That's enough children to fill a football stadium. And they just disappeared. Nobody knows where they're at. Did they go back home? I doubt it. Some of these children came across the border with a bracelet on their hand and somebody's name on it, and somebody was there to pick them up. Hi, I'm Joe Smith, and you got my niece here. It wasn't his niece. And they call it conspiracy theory. It's not conspiracy theory. It's truth. It's happening, and it's happening right under our eyes. Keep your head on a swivel. Keep your grandkids real close to you, because I don't trust this world. It's not just the United States, it's worldwide. Maybe we could sit down and have a talk with Oprah. You think she tells the truth? I don't think so. Think Ellen would tell us the truth? I think she'd make a joke out of it. And I can guarantee you Tyler Perry'd make a joke out of it. Like I said, you just don't know who to trust. That's why it's called true crime. Because truth eventually comes up, and it comes out. And everybody's going to know exactly what happened. You can't hide it forever. You may think you can hide it forever. Diddy's been doing this for, what they say, 30 years? 25, 30 years. And he's gotten away with it this long. But you know what? Eventually, it's going to catch him. Caught him. It's going to catch him. And then what? I did have one more question, and I would like somebody smart other than myself, because you know what? I'm not the smartest or sharpest knife in the drawer, but I was thinking about this. So when they were doing the indictment, if you got to read the 14 pages of indictment on Diddy, it was every name he's ever gone by. Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, Dr. Love. Why do you think that all those names were on there? AKA Diddy, AKA P. Diddy, AKA Puff Daddy, AKA Dr. Love, AKA Sean Combs. Why do you think all of those names are on there? I just have kind of an idea. I'm going to do a deep dive and have a real good answer for you. But you think some of his businesses were under AKA whatever, and they wanted to make sure all their bases were covered? I don't know. But I'd sure like to have your opinion on it, because it's interesting why he had all those different names on there. And why did he keep changing his name? There's some thoughts. And what happened to the little white girl that he adopted not too long ago? All the kids are at the courthouse. They all piled out and they all piled in. Everybody saw him on TV. When they denied him his bail, here came all of his kids, both times. But this little girl was not there with him. Where is she? What happened to her? He was sure proud when he adopted her and sure put her out there. It's food for thought, y'all. Got a lot of questions. Hopefully, not too long it'll be. I'll have some answers. And I'm sure y'all miss Linda, and you're probably sick and tired of hearing me talk, and you're probably ready for me to say, you know what, Linda, you come and take over a couple days because we're sick of hearing Connie. She talks too much. I don't know, y'all. I just want y'all to be aware of what's going on. Monday, maybe I'll have some really better things to say. Well, they should. Somebody should ask, where is that little girl? I want to know where that little girl is. Somebody should ask. Nobody's asking. No one's saying a word. They're all keeping it hush, hush. I did see a video where that little girl came out and she said that she was sold to people on the black market, but I haven't had a chance to look at it, so I'm not really sure. So that could be not really true. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. So maybe by Monday I'll have some more ideas of where she's at and what's happened to her. You know what, Linda? They miss you too. They all miss you. They're saying, oh God, I can't wait till Linda comes back because Connie just likes to preach and rant and rave at us all the time. She don't ever want to do fun things like Linda does. All she wants us to do is keep our head on a swivel and just keep looking around like crazy people. I just want y'all to be safe. That's all. And I don't want any crazy people saying anything stupid and you not knowing the truth, because I want y'all to know the real truth. The real truth is, I love y'all, and I want you to be as smart as me. And boy, ain't that saying something, because I'm not the smartest. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. But I want you to know what I know, or whatever I find out that's new. I want y'all to know it, because I want y'all to be aware. I love you very much. It's that wonderful witching hour for me to say goodbye. But like and subscribe if you'd like to. We'd love to have you. We'll be back. I'll be back on Monday at 6:30, and Linda will be back with me. And I'm sure y'all are going to be happy for that. And you guys have a nice weekend. Have a safe and nice weekend. And we'll talk to y'all Monday. You take care. Love you. Bye.